I would encourage you to think about this. That first line there, the one that I am highlighting in red, y is greater than or equal to -2. Did you notice that that line only has a y and it does not have an x? So what does that mean about the line? What kind of a line is it?
It's
Horizontal, right? So if it only has a y, you'd ask yourself, why would I ski that? It's boring. It's just flat. It's horizontal like that. Yeah, so let's start off by graphing that one. Y is greater than or equal to -2. So this is going to be a horizontal line at -2. My next question for you is going to be this. Is this going to be a dotted line or a solid line? Why do you pick solid? Yep, the equal to makes all the difference there. So there is my nice solid line, solid horizontal line at x equals -2, or excuse me, at y equals -2. We've decided that it's solid. You guys are right on that. Now we got to figure out the shading. Are we going to shade above that or below that? And what do we usually do to figure that out? Fill in, yeah, 0, 0. Do you see how 0, 0 is above the line? So we're testing out that above region to see how this works out. So my test would look like this. 0 is greater than or equal to -2. And we ask ourselves a really simple question. Is that true or is that false? Is 0 really bigger than -2?
Yes.
It is. Yeah, 0 is bigger. So that's true. And so that means we want to shade on the region that had 0, 0. So that would look, let's do this. Look something like that. One thing I'd encourage you with on your shading, when you first start shading, maybe start off shading very light instead of very heavy. It's easier to start off light and then go darker if you need to than it is to start off dark and then go lighter. So something to think about. All right, the other line, the one that I am highlighting right now in a lovely blue color, is x is greater than 1. So what sort of line is that one?
Vertical.
That one's vertical, right? Because it has an x, but it doesn't have a y. So that's vertical at 1. So I'm going to put this in. Is this line going to be solid or dotted? This one's dotted, right? Because it does not have the or equal to. So my version of this will look like that. Can you see that? It's sort of clear. You'll go with this one. All right, there we go. So there's my solid line. All right, so I got to decide, am I going to, or my dotted line, excuse me. Am I going to shade on the right side of that dotted line or on the left side? Once again, I need to probably do a test value. Would you guys use 0, 0 here again?
Yes.
I agree with that. So 0, 0 for this one would be 0 is greater than 1. Is 0 greater than 1? It is not. So that's false. Therefore, we will not be shading on the 0, 0 side. We'll be shading on the other side. So that would be on the right side of this one. So it would look something like this. And then in the end, what are we looking for as far as our answer region goes? Yeah, it's where the shading overlaps itself. So would you guys agree with me that the shading overlapping itself would be in region A, what I've labeled as A right there? Does it make sense? Okay. So remember on these, your graph is your answer. So you're not going to say, and the answer is 7 or 2, 2 or whatever. You're simply going to say, hey, there's my graph. The darkest region is the answer. So please make your answer region obvious. If you need to darken it up a little bit and say, do some extra shading just to make it super clear that that's your answer region, feel free to do that. If you start off shading really dark, it's hard to do that. But if you start off shading light, you can actually do that pretty easily. All right, so do you guys have any questions, comments, thoughts? Okay, let me turn you loose on the very last one, number 4. It's on the next page. This one is a little bit of a step up, but it's certainly not beyond you all. So check out this one here. Number 4, this one actually has 3 inequalities instead of just 2. I know. So follow the exact same procedure. We're still looking for all the shadings overlap. So give this one a shot. I'll be around to help if you need it. We'll look at the answer in a couple minutes. For you, this first line I'll do in red. I've got x is less than or equal to 3, so that's a vertical line, and it's at 3, and it would look like this approximately. It is solid, right? In fact, weren't all of these solid lines?
Yeah.
They all had the or equal to on there. So there's this. As far as shading goes, 0, 0 worked here, I believe. You'd get 0 is less than or equal to 3, which is true. So I'm going to shade on the 0, 0 side. I'll shade on the left side of this line. So that would look approximately like that. And then, any questions? Okay. So then this line right here is horizontal. And it is horizontal at 5. Once again, it is solid. And so it would look 2, 4, 5. Oops, I missed. Missed again. Goodness gracious. What is my problem? There we go. Okay, so there's my horizontal line at 5. And then as far as shading goes, you try out 0, 0. You get 0 is less than or equal to 5, which is also true, right? And so we're going to shade below. Good hand motion there. I totally agree with you. And so far, is our answer region starting to pop out to you? Do you see that really dark, stormy cloud thing on the lower left? So that's, we're not done yet, but that's kind of the start to my answer region. The last one I'm going to do here is going to be hopefully in a bright green. Hopefully this will show up well. It's this one right here. Did you guys all use slope intercept?
Yes.
Nobody used intercepts? Okay. So I'll use slope intercept as well. And so did you guys subtract 2x from both sides? So that'll give you a negative 3y is less than or equal to 6 minus 2x. Here's where the trick comes in. What do I have to do next?
Divide by negative.
And dividing by a negative, whenever you divide an inequality by a negative, flip the inequality. Yeah, so this is where doing intercepts might actually be better. It might be easier for you. I know you all are kind of resistant to that, but it might have made this one easier. So you get y is greater than or equal to negative 2 plus 2/3 x. So the flipping around of that inequality could have flipped your shading around. It might have caused some issues. Hopefully not, but it could have. All right, so here is my y-intercept of negative 2. And slope 2/3 is like this. Up 2 over 3. Up 2 over 3. We go down to left 3. What's that? You got the shading wrong? I'm sorry. Okay, so here is my attempt at a line. Something like that. And then the shading. You try out 0, 0. So if I go 0 is greater than or equal to negative 2 plus 2/3 times 0, I essentially get 0 is greater than or equal to negative 2. Is 0 greater than or equal to negative 2? Yes, it is. 0 is bigger than all the negative numbers. So I'll shade on the 0, 0 side. So 0, 0 worked on all these. And so there is that shading. This particular program doesn't work that great for the shading thing. My overlap is going to be this. I'm going to try to make it super clear because right now it's not. I'm going to darken this up. And at this point, hopefully that is a pretty clear answer region. Can you see it? If you needed to make it more clear, you could label it. You could say, hey, that's region A. And then you could say region A is the answer. Something like that. You just want to make your answer really clear. You don't want to leave it up to me to try to decipher between various values and shades and tones of graphite, right? Make it super dark. So the easiest way to do that, I think, is to start off really light and then go dark instead of going dark and then trying to go lighter or something like that. So, yeah, Deacon.
Will we get kind of down if, like, you can't tell that the other, like, regions are shaded, like, outside of it? Like, or...
You mean like if you were slightly messy?
Yeah.
No. I mean, you look at mine, like there's a couple little spots like that. I'm not going to grade the quality of your artwork. Although, I mean, like if you had this, you know, if you like wrote it up into there, it'd be like, yeah, you're pretty clearly telling me that it's up there too. But if you've got like this little mark that kind of drifts up there or something, I'm not going to make a big deal about that. All right. Anybody else with a question? Okay. So there were a few folks that had asked about some WebAssign style things. So let's